Hi children, good morning everybody. So in the last video we have seen our second prose, The Night the Ghost Got In, written by James Grover Thurber. Okay, so what we have seen in the last class, we have seen that the narrator he is hearing some footsteps around the dining table, so that he's having a doubt that it might be burglar. Later then only he had recognized that it might be a ghost. So he is waking up his brother Herman. Okay. So both of them were looking at each other in fear. The author is just coming out from his bathtub and he is having only bath towel around his waist. Okay. So his brother Herman was afraid and he wanted to go back, but the author is holding his hand very griply. So we have seen that till that in previous class. Now let us continue the same in this video. There is something down there, I said. Instantly the steps began again, circled the dining room table like a man running, and started up the stairs towards us heavily, two at a time. The light still shone palely down the stairs. We saw nothing coming. We only heard the steps. Herman rushed to his room and slammed the door. I slammed shut the door at the stairs top and held my knee against it. Okay. So, there is something down there, I said. So, who said? Here I refers to the narrator. Okay. So, there is something down there, I said. So, he is telling something is there in the down. Instantly, the steps began again. So, again, the author was able to hear the footsteps, circled the dining room table like a man running, and started up the stairs towards us heavily, two at a time. So what happened? Again, instantly, the narrator was able to hear the footsteps again. So what it is doing? It circled dining room table like a man running. Okay, so like a running man, it is circling again around the dining room table and started up the stairs towards us. Then again where they were able to hear the sound is, it started to come towards them. See, listen, look in this picture. Here you can understand it clearly. So this is ground floor. This is upstairs. Okay. So Arthur, his brother Herman, and his mother. Okay. So the narrator was able to hear the footsteps circling around the dining room table. Okay. But immediately what happened? He was able to hear the footsteps like it is coming upstairs. It is going upstairs. So in the beginning it is circling only around the dining room table. So after some time what happened? It began to climb in the steps. Okay. Okay. So instantly the steps began again, circled the dining room table like a man running, and started up the stairs towards us heavily, two at a time. So then it started climbing upstairs towards the narrator and his brother. The light still shone palely down the stairs. We saw nothing coming. So from where the light is coming, so we have seen in the last class, the light is coming from the bathroom. Okay, so the light still shone. Shone is the past tense of shine. Okay, the light still shone palely. Palely means that is the light is not bright. Okay, the light is not falling very brightly. So the light still shone palely down palely down the stairs. We saw nothing coming, but they were not able to see anything coming towards them. We only heard the steps. Just they were hearing only the footsteps. Who? Here we refers to Arthur and his brother Herman. Okay. Herman rushed to his room. So immediately what Herman had done, so he rushed. So he is running fastly to his room and slammed the door. So what is mean by slammed? That is, he is shutting his door, his room door very heavily, very forcefully. He is closing his room door. I slammed shut the door at the stair's top. So what the narrator is also doing, he is also slamming his door. That is, he is closing his door very heavily and held my knee against it. So after closing the door, he is holding his knee against the door so that the door cannot be opened. After a long minute, I slowly opened it. So the author is also slamming, the narrator is also slamming the door, and his brother Herman is also slamming the door. So after a long minute, I slowly opened it again. So after some time, he is slowly opening the door. There was nothing there. Okay. But as they were afraid, there is nothing there. There was no sound, and also they cannot hear any sound. None of us ever heard the ghost again. So after that time, they never heard again the sound of the ghost. The slamming of the doors had aroused mother. She peered out of her room. What on earth are you boys doing? She demanded. Herman ventured out of his room. Nothing, he said gruffly, but he was in color a light green. What was all that running around downstairs? Said mother. So she had heard the steps too. We just looked at her. Burglars, she shouted initiatively. I tried to quieten her by starting lightly downstairs. See what happened is, the slamming of the door, that is the closing of the door very heavily, had aroused mother. So that sound had made their mother to wake up, because it is happening in the, at what time? At 1:15. That is after 1:15 in the night. That is in the early morning. She peered out of her room. So she is looking. Peered means what is peered? Etti paakkurathu. Okay. So she peered out of her room. What on earth are you boys doing? She demanded. So she asked. Who asked? Their mother asked. What on earth are you doing? So what on earth are you doing means what are you doing in the, what are you doing there? What are you doing in the floor? Herman ventured out of his room. So now only Herman is slowly, he is coming out of his room. He is venturing out of his room. Nothing, he said gruffly. So gruffly means sadly. So sad, his mother is asking, what are you doing there? So gruffly means sadly. So very sadly Herman is telling that we are doing nothing. But he was in color a light green. So what is his color? Light green means here not greenish color. That is in a pale, he is looking very pale because he was very much afraid, because they are thinking that there is a ghost. What was all that running around downstairs? Said mother. So mother is asking, what is happening in the downstairs? So she had heard the steps too. Okay, so it means they are guessing that mother had also heard the footsteps. இதனால தான் அவங்க அம்மா கேக்குறாங்க, what is happening? அம்மாவுக்கும் அந்த footsteps கேட்டிருக்கு. So அதனால தான் கேக்குறாங்க, what is happening in the downstairs? We just looked at her. So Herman and the narrator is just looking at their mother. Burglars, she shouted initiatively. So without any thinking, without any reason, initiatively means without any reason. Okay. She is immediately shouting that there are burglars in the home. I tried to quieten her by starting lightly downstairs. So the narrator is trying to make her quiet, but it is not possible. Come on, Herman, I said. I will stay with mother. So the narrator is asking, come on, Herman. So come with me. The narrator is telling to Herman, I'll stay with mother. He said, what he is telling? Herman is telling, I will stay with mother. So why he is telling I will stay with mother is because he is thinking that mother is afraid. But actually, in fact, Herman is afraid, and so he wanted to stay with his mother. I'll stay with mother, he said. She's all excited. So she's very much excited. She's afraid. So I'll stay with mother. I stepped back onto the landing. So again he is going back. Don't either of you go a step, said mother. So what mother is telling? Both of you don't keep a step ahead. Okay. We'll call the police. So mother is telling, no, don't move, don't go downstairs because we will call the police. Since the phone was downstairs, I did not see how we were going to call the police, nor did I want the police, but mother made one of her quick, incomparable decisions. She flung up a window of her bedroom. Okay, so mother is telling, don't go downstairs because we will call the police. Since the phone was downstairs, so for calling the police, where is the phone? It is in the downstairs. I didn't see how we were going to call the police. So phone is in the downstairs. So only by getting into the downstairs, they will be able to call the police. Okay. See, as I said already, this is downstairs and this is upstairs. So, narrator, his mother and his brother Herman, they were in the upstairs. So, mother is telling, don't go downstairs because we will call the police. Okay, so for calling the phone, police, what is needed? Phone is needed, but phone is in the downstairs. Where is the phone? It is in the downstairs. Okay. I didn't say how we were going to call the police, nor did I want the police. The narrator doesn't know how to call the police because the phone is in downstairs, and also he doesn't want to call the police. But mother made one of her quick, incomparable decision. Okay, but mother is making one of her quick decision. What decision? She flung up a window of her bedroom, which faced the bedroom windows of the house of a neighbor, picked up a shoe and whammed it through a pane of glass across the narrow space that separated the two houses. See what happened? What mother had done is, so what is the immediate decision taken by the mother is, she flung up a window of her bedroom which faced the bedroom windows of the house of a neighbor. See, listen, what mother is doing is, imagine here there is a house. This is the house of the narrator. So here there is one more house. It is the neighbor's house. Okay, here there is one more house. So imagine there is a window here in the narrator's room. So what mother is doing, immediately she is taking a shoe and she is throwing it through the window. Okay, so what happened? It is entering into the window of the neighbor's house. So how it is entering is, it is breaking the glass of the window and it is entering into the neighbor's house. Who is staying in the neighbor's house is Mr. Bodwell. So what is the name? Mr. Bodwell is staying in the neighbor's house Okay, Bardwell and his wife, that is Mr. Bardwell and Mrs. Bardwell is staying here in this house. Okay. She flung up a window of her bedroom, which faced the bedroom windows of the house of a neighbor, picked up a shoe and whammed it. So, whammed means she's throwing it through a pan of glass across the narrow space that separated the two houses. So, it is flying through the narrow space between the two houses. So, what happened in the neighbor's houses? Glass tinkled into the bedroom occupied by a retired engraver named Bardwell and his wife. So, what is happening is, as mother is throwing the shoe, it is entering into the bedroom of the neighbor's house. So, who are there in that house is Mr. Bardwell. So, Bardwell is the name. What is his occupation? He is a retired engraver. Okay, and his wife is staying there. So, tinkled means, so if we break the glass window, what will happen? A sound will be heard, right? That sound is called as tinkling sound. Okay. So, glass tinkled into the bedroom occupied by a retired engraver. So, what is mean by engraver is, what we can say, simply if we buy some vessels in the shop, what we will do? We will be engraving the name. Is it or not? That is called as engraver. Likewise in the gold coins, some 916. Okay, it will be engraved. Okay, so in olden days what happened, if you go to any temple, like that we can see in the stones some letters, some words will be engraved in the stones. Okay, that is called as engraving. So Mr. Bardwell is a engraver. So Mr. Bardwell and his wife is staying in the nearby house. Bardwell had been for some years in rather a bad way and was subject to mild attacks. So recently Bardwell was not concentrating on his health, and what happened? He is suffering from mild heart attacks. Almost everybody we knew or lived near had some kind of attack. So most of the persons lived there have some attacks. So here why they are mentioning is because the narrator's mother is throwing a shoe through the window. So it is hitting the window of the neighbor's room. There who is staying? Bardwell and his wife is staying. So in the midnight or in the early morning, suddenly if we are hearing the breaking sound of the window glass, what will happen? Definitely we will be very much afraid, and also he is a person who is suffering from mild heart attacks. It was now about 2 o'clock of a moonless night. Clouds hung black and low. Bardwell was at the window in a minute, shouting, frothing a little, shaking his fist. Okay, so from these lines, that is from this line we can understand that Bardwell is an aged man. Okay, so it was now about 2 o'clock. So all this started to begin at 1:15, and now the time is 2 o'clock of a moonless night. That is, they were not able to see the moon because there are clouds in the sky. Clouds hung black and low. Bardwell was at the window in a minute. So immediately within a minute, Bardwell was coming and standing near the window, shouting, frothing a little. Okay, so he's shouting. Who had thrown the shoe? What happened? He don't know what happened really because he might be sleeping. So he's coming and shouting. Frothing a little means, if you see some old aged persons, when they were talking, saliva will come out of their mouth. Okay, that is called as frothing. So here Bardwell is also an aged man. So he's shouting, frothing a little, shaking his fist. So his fist is also shaking, shivering. Okay, because he is an aged man. We will sell the house and go back to Peoria. We could hear Mrs. Bardwell saying. Okay, so we will sell the house. So what Mrs. Bodwell is telling is, let us sell this house. We will sell this house and we will go back to Peoria. So Peoria is the name of a place. We could hear Mrs. Bodwell saying, it was some time before mother got through to Bodwell. So before few days, his mother, narrator's mother had gone to Bodwell's house. Burglars, she shouted. So who is shouting? The narrator's mother is shouting. Burglars, she shouted. Burglars in the house. So burglars have entered my house. So please someone come to help us. Herman and I had not dared to tell her that it was not burglars but ghosts, for she was even more afraid of ghosts than of burglars. Okay, so she is shouting burglars in the house. Herman and I had not dared. Who is shouting? Bodwell's wife is shouting. Herman and I had not dared to tell her that it was not burglars but ghosts. So they were not bold enough to tell that the sound is not burglars but it was ghost. For she was even more afraid of ghosts than of burglars, because she was very much afraid. Herman and I had not dared to tell her that it was not burglars but ghost. Okay, so Herman and the narrator, that is, they were not ready to tell Mrs. Bodwell that it was not burglars but it was ghost. So why they were not ready to tell us? Because already they are aged person. So if they are telling it is not burglars but it is ghost, they will be afraid so much, right? Bodwell at first thought that she meant there were burglars in his house. So Bodwell at first thought that she meant there were burglars in his house, but finally he quieted down and called the police for us over an extension phone by his bed. See, what happened is, Bodwell at first thought that she meant there were burglars in the house. So in the beginning, Bodwell is thinking that there were burglars in the house, but finally he quieted down. Finally he is keeping quiet and he is calling the police for us. Okay, so he is calling the police for us. For whom? For the narrator's family. Okay, so why he is calling the police? Because in the narrator's home, a phone is in the downstairs. So as they are thinking that there is ghost in the downstairs, they cannot come to the downstairs. So by understanding all the situation, Mr. Bodwell himself is calling the police. After he had disappeared from the window, mother suddenly made as if to throw another shoe, not because there was further need of it, but as she later explained, because the thrill of heaving a shoe through a window glass had enormously taken her fancy. I prevented her. See, after he had disappeared from the window, who had disappeared from the window? Bodwell. So after he is going away from the window, mother suddenly made as if to throw another shoe. So immediately mother had planned to throw one more shoe. Not because there was further need of it, but as she later explained, because the thrill of heaving a shoe through a window glass had enormously taken her fancy. Okay, so mother is ready to throw one more shoe through the window. So what is the reason she is telling is, but there is no need to throw one more shoe because Mr. Bodwell had called the police. But why she wants to throw one more shoe is, she later explained. So later she is explaining, because the thrill of heaving a shoe through a window glass had enormously taken her fancy. Because she was very much interested. That is, because she loved throwing the shoe through the window to the neighbor's house. So she is telling, see, already narrator's mother had thrown a shoe through the window. It is hitting the neighbor's house, that is Mr. Bardwell's house. So by understanding all this situation, Mr. Bardwell himself is making a call to the police. Okay. See, then what happened? After all this happened, she is again ready to throw another shoe through the window. But there is no need of it. Because they had called the police, so there is no need to throw one more shoe. But what is the reason narrator's mother is telling is, because she was interested in throwing shoe through the window. Okay, I prevented her. Who prevented? The narrator is prevented her. Prevented from what? Prevented from throwing one more shoe through the window. Okay, so this is what, let us stop with this. I hope every one of you have understood. Let us continue in the next class. Thank you.